Patricia.
With the third pick in the 2020 NFL Draft, the Detroit Lions select Jeff Okudah, defensive back, Ohio State.
And there you see the reaction in Grand Prairie, Texas, where Jeff Okudah is from. The cornerback goes off the board. Here's what's really interesting. The top 3 picks in this draft at one time or another all played at Ohio State University. Taking a look at Jeff Okudah and everything that he's done. He was the #1 cornerback in the ESPN class of 2017. His mother died 6 days after his first day on campus as an early entrant at Ohio State in January of 2017. He wears a bracelet for his mother, Maria Okudah, in her memory, and wrote a really heartfelt letter to her after she had passed away, saying all the things that she had meant to him and helped him along the way. And now Jeff Okudah, by the way, also was an academic star at Ohio State, carrying a GPA of 3.0. Jeff, we thought this would be the #1 corner off the board. We've gone chalk. What do you like most about what you see in Okudah's game?
Well, Trey, I see the size and the length in somebody that is outstanding in press coverage. He wants to play physical at the line of scrimmage. We saw him do it against some of the best wide receivers in this year's draft class. He's got the fluidity to be able to open up. He can drive on the football. He can find and play the football. So I thought he was the most complete cornerback in this year's draft class, and I honestly did not think it was very close. The Detroit Lions have to get better against the pass, and this was the best option for them to get that done.
Mel, what do you like about him?
Well, you look at him and you got a complete corner, a guy that will tackle. That's so important in this league now with the short passes, come up and make the tackle on those elusive receivers. And in the run game, Jeff Okudah is a very confident corner, doesn't get called for penalties. He understands how to break up a pass and not draw the flag, and that's critical in the National Football League. I think Derek Brown, defensive tackle, Auburn, was tempting for the Detroit Lions, but you got Darius Slay moving on. You need that lockdown corner, and that's what Jeff Okudah will be expected to be. He'll be hoped to be Stephon Gilmore with the Detroit Lions.
There you see a very happy Matt Patricia, the head coach. And by the way, this is the 6th time in 7 years the Buckeyes have a cornerback taken in the first round of the draft. And there you see Bob Quinn, also very, very happy. And we have a theme for the first 3 draft picks of 2020. Burrow, Chase Young, and Okudah, all teammates at Ohio State in 2017. And the first 3 picks off the board in the draft in 2020. We're just getting started.
Draft about to start right now, really.
Yeah. It's about to start. Wow, that was so.
It's all predictable, yeah. So the 2020 NFL draft. There it is. There it is.
Hey, Bob Quinn from the Detroit Lions. How you doing?
I'm doing good.
Where you out with your family?
Yeah, I got my family with me right now.
Okay. Well, listen, give me 1 second here. I'm gonna conference in Coach Patricia. All right, we got something to tell you. Hold on. Coach Patricia, I have Jeff Okudah here, and Jeff, welcome to the Lions. We just made you the 3rd overall pick in the draft.
Thank you so much, Coach. I'm blessed. I feel blessed right now. Thank you so much. Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
Yeah, Jeff, you know, in the entire process, you've done everything right. So can't wait to get you up here whenever that is. And, you know, we're going to let you go celebrate here with your family right now for a little bit. And then obviously just keep your cell phone close. You know, another person from our team will be calling you. A couple of the coaches will be calling you. And our PR director will be calling you as well. We're going to send this into the league here in about another minute or so and make it official. But welcome to the Lions. Okay?
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, Coach.
All right, man. All right, take care. Yeah, see ya.
Lions.
Yeah! Come on, let's go! Let's go! Let's go!
So that means we are at pick number 3. That's the Detroit Lions. There you see Bob Quinn and Matt Patricia.
With the third pick in the 2020 NFL Draft, the Detroit Lions select Jeff Okudah, defensive back, Ohio State.
And there you see the reaction in Grand Prairie, Texas, where Jeff Okudah is from. The cornerback goes off the board. Here's what's really interesting. The top 3 picks in this draft at one time or another all played at Ohio State University. Taking a look at Jeff Okudah and everything that he's done. He was the #1 cornerback in the ESPN class of 2017. His mother died 6 days after his first day on campus as an early entrant at Ohio State in January of 2017. He wears a bracelet for his mother, Maria Okudah, in her memory, and wrote a really heartfelt letter to her after she had passed away, saying all the things that she had meant to him and helped him along the way. And now Jeff Okudah, by the way, also was an academic star at Ohio State, carrying a GPA of 3.0.
Jeffrey, congratulations, man. Man, I am so fired up for you. It seems like just yesterday, me and you were sitting there that first time, talking about all those wideouts releases. Well, guess what, man? Now it's time to go lock them down like I know you're gonna do.
From the very first day I met you as a junior in high school, I knew you were going to be something special, and you have never disappointed us. And know this, Jeff, your mom is looking down tonight and she is smiling.
I remember when you would tell Mom and I that your goal was to end up in the NFL, so it's just crazy for me to see that you're actually here. I'm just extremely grateful and just proud for everything you've done for us and the family.
Congrats to my little bro, Jeff Okudah, carrying on the Ohio State tradition of being BIA Best in America.
To see you come so far, it's a proud moment to watch you see your dreams come true.
I'm looking forward to seeing where he's going to draft, man. Heck of a player.
Continue to be yourself as you get in this league, man. Don't change for nobody. Just keep your mind right, man. You know I'm always here for you.
I'm so proud of you and all that you have accomplished, and I want to wish you good luck.
We love you, man. So excited for you. Congratulations, Jeff.
I can't wait to be on the sidelines cheering for you, and free Hefe.
That there just didn't seem to be any trade market. There'd been so much talk about trading down, a couple of teams trading up for quarterbacks, and it just didn't materialize at all until the first 12, 13, 14 picks. Very similar to last year, first half of the draft.
Yeah, obviously I know that's a topic of a conversation that everyone's going to ask, and I'll kind of just give you exactly what happened. We had a lot of conversations. We never got a firm offer. No team put anything on the table. Had multiple conversations with multiple teams. They were kind of fishing around, and we were open for business, as you guys know, and nothing was ever put in front of us to evaluate. So I've told you guys a lot that it takes 2 teams to make a trade. So unfortunately, we were open and willing to move back a little bit, and we felt like we had a group of players that we really liked that we could have gotten if we moved back. But we stood pat, took the best player that we felt can help our team, and we're excited to have Jeff.
Thank you.
Bob, just to follow up on that, I guess, a little bit, do you think that's due to the quarterback situation? Was that due to the sort of, life we're in right now with Corona, where people couldn't get their hands on people, the virtual draft? I mean, is there any explanation for why the trade market wasn't hot?
Yeah, I don't have a good explanation, Dave. I think that's probably more of a question for the teams that, were behind us. I don't know. We had our normal pre-draft conversations with all the teams, and the few teams that showed a little bit of interest, just ultimately, as we got through today, just for whatever reason decided to stay put. I think, looking back, they probably got the guys that they probably would have taken at 3. So it's take 2 teams to tango, and listen, we feel good about it. Like, God, there was a lot of talk about trade because there hasn't been a lot of talk about, right, in sports. So there's been a lot of chatter about, quarterback this, offensive line that, for the teams that are behind us. ultimately, looking back at it, it really didn't mean much because nothing happened. But like I said, really happy with how it turned out for us. We got the player we wanted to.
Michael Rothstein.
Yeah, Bob, do you think that looking back, you could have maybe created more of a market to potentially entice a trade, whether smoke screened a little bit differently, smoke screened a little bit more with maybe wanting a quarterback? Or do you think that was just never that people would have seen through that pretty quickly?
I don't know. We evaluate all the positions the same, and the guys that are highly rated across the board at any position, I never say we're not going to evaluate a position. So we evaluate the quarterbacks. We have a good quarterback. We feel great with Matthew Stafford. So I think I've said that over and over again. Listen, teams do a very in-depth analysis of your roster and your needs in your contract situations. So not to put down, the pundits out there, but like the teams know better than the people that are reporting on it about what teams need and what teams can actually do. So I think we did the best we can. It's pretty interesting because the two teams that were behind us directly were the Giants and the Dolphins, and I'm very close friends with both their head coaches I worked with for a very long time. So I think they know myself, they know Matt, and obviously we don't share our inner secrets, but they can look at our team and they can evaluate our needs and they can look at our contracts, and that's just kind of how it went.
And just to be clear, how far, now that it's over, how far back would you have felt comfortable going?
That's a hypothetical question, Mike, because you got to tell me what was the return on the investment. I can go back 20 spots if they're going to give me their entire draft, right? But it all depends what's coming back in return.
That's fair.
Okay, we'll go Dave Burkett for a follow-up, and then Jim Parker.
We caught Dave sleeping. He wasn't ready for the follow-up that quick, Eamon.
Dave, you're muted still.
Is that better?
We got you now.
All right. Sorry about that. Not sure what was happening there. Well, I just wanted to ask about the debate. You mentioned that top group of players that you were considering. Can you just, take us inside some of those discussions about, evaluating players, let's just say Simmons, Brown, who are on an equal level? What is the thing that puts you over the top for one guy over another, in this case, Okudah?
Yeah, I'm not going to get into a lot of specifics about the players we didn't take. I don't think that's fair to those guys. We liked those players up at the top of the draft. Was able to get down and see both those pro days of the two players you mentioned and spend time with both of them. So that was great. Felt good. I think they're going to have good NFL careers. We just felt like total package, what we were looking for, what we were trying to add to our defense, that Jeff was the right pick for us. So it's not one little thing or one big thing. It's the whole picture. You're getting the whole player and you're getting the whole person. Simmons and Brown are great people and great players too. So it was a hard decision. Those guys were all up there in the conversation for sure. Just felt really comfortable in the end with the decision we made.
Jim Parker.
Hi, Bob. You talk about comfortable moving back, but was there any point where you looked to get back into that first round a little bit later, or are you sort of satisfied with where you sit heading into day two?
Yeah, we did have a couple conversations, truthfully, so I don't know where we started, maybe 25, 26, somewhere in there. Made a couple calls. Some teams wanted to move back, some teams didn't. Ultimately just, decided to stay put, and felt good with, the players we have on the board tomorrow and the position we're in, picking at 35, third pick in the second round. I think, there'll be a number of players there that we feel good about. Looking at the board tonight when the draft ended, we feel good about a good number of players, and even the scenario of moving back too, because the top of the second round has been kind of the new first round, right? Teams get to kind of reset their boards, and there's a lot of action in the first 5 picks in the second round. So we'll see what happens. we're going to, get a good night's rest here. It's a little bit late. We'll regroup as a staff mid-morning and kind of go through those scenarios and, be ready to go at 7 o'clock tomorrow.
Justin Rogers, then Jake Reitma.
Hey, Bob, you've done a lot of work on your coverage on the back end. How do you feel about your pass rush at this point as you're going into the second phase of the draft?
Yeah, it's pass rush is always something you think about. Doesn't matter who you have on the roster. You could have Lawrence Taylor. You're still going to want more pass rush. It's something that's important. So something we'll look at. There's guys on the board that we like at all levels of the draft that fit in the pass rush category. So it's something we look at every year, and we'll continue to do that.
Jake Reitma.
Yeah, with 97 won the ticket, filling in for Jeff Rieger. He's on the air right now. How much discussion was there just about taking Tua with the number 3 pick overall?
Wow, that's a strong question. He just went right after it. It's good. We evaluated Tua. Had a really good meeting with him. This guy's a very energetic guy and a charismatic guy in the interview process. Talked to Coach Saban about him a lot. Call down. Obviously, we make a lot of this year. We probably made more calls to college coaches just because we had more time to do that. So we talked to Nick about all their guys down there, and they love him down there. I think he's an excellent college quarterback. He's going to be an excellent pro quarterback. The medical was something that was evaluated as well, and those are all the things you have to put into equation. So to answer your question, we evaluated everybody from top to bottom, and Tua was no different.
Larry Lage, then Jen Hammond.
Just talk about how having multiple picks over the next couple of days maybe gives you some leverage and some, fodder to move up if you want at some point.
Yeah. Good point, Larry. Obviously, when you got multiple thirds and multiple fifths, you can move around the board. It gives you more flexibility, right? Those extra picks we picked up in the Philly trade, we'll look at that and kind of see where that takes us, whether that's, things in the second or third round that you can get extra picks, or you can move up and go and attack a guy that you have on your board. But yes, it's hard to do when you don't have a lot of picks. And this year we do have a couple extras. So you try to use those wisely, whether it's, the totality of the depth of the draft and you sit there and just pick them, or you kind of use one or two of them and move up and attack a player.
Jennifer Hammond.
Was there something, Bob, about Okudah and just maybe his skill set or the scheme he played in at Ohio State that makes him someone who will be more equipped to come in to this season without an extended off-season program? And how much will that play into the picks going forward, and how much did it relate to him? If you could touch on that, please.
Yeah, that's a good question. I think that's something that, we're not the only team kind of thinking that way and trying to look at, okay, well, listen, the off-season program is going to be limited. We'll see what training camp looks like when we get there. So what guys are really ready to step in, and you got to look at a guy that, we use the word potential. We use the word upside in our business a lot, right? And that's why we pay our coaches to teach these guys and develop them and get that upside out of them. Well, it's kind of hard when you have the coaches trying to teach these guys remotely, how to do technique and things like that. So in Jeff's case, you see him play a lot of press coverage. You see him at the line of scrimmage. You see him use his hands. So a lot of stuff that we do defensively, you can just pop on Ohio State and just watch it, and it's very similar. It's not exactly the same, but he was very well coached there. Jeff Hafley, who's the head coach at Boston College now, was their defensive coordinator last year. He came in from San Francisco 49ers, so he's got an NFL pedigree. Myself and Coach know Jeff very well. He's a guy we leaned on in this process because, Ohio State had so many defensive prospects. Mm-hmm. So that was a guy that we talked to in depth about all of them. And so feel that, the skill set matches into being able to come in and hopefully, and we expect him to come in and play right away and help us win.
Hey, Jeff Okudah, this is Barry Sanders, and welcome to the Detroit Lions. I remember what it was like to be in your shoes. The beginning of your NFL career is such an exciting time. You have so many milestones ahead of you. I'm looking forward to seeing what you can do. I can't wait for the season to start. Go Lions.
everyone for being here today. I'm going to try to make this as normal for Jeff as possible with our introductory press conference that we normally would do in person. So obviously it's a great pleasure of mine to introduce Jeff Okudah to the Lions media corps. He's a great football player, but I'd say even a better human being out of all the research we've done, people we've talked to, and all our scouting the last 2 years. When we were on the clock, it was an easy decision to make Jeff a Lion. So and even though we're virtual here, if we were live in person, Jeff would have brought his aunt and uncle, Jane and Patrick, so they would be in the crowd with us today, as well as his sister Karen. So I think those people deserve some recognition that helped Jeff grow up and mature to the man and the player he is today. So I'll keep it brief on my end. I know you guys want to talk to Jeff, but I'll pass it over to Coach Patricia to add some more comments. So welcome, Jeff.
Thank you.
Appreciate it, Bob. Thanks. Obviously, we're real excited here today. Let me just say it's great to see everybody's faces. I know it's been a while since we've had a chance to catch up. Mike, good to see you got that thing moved down. We were seeing the top of your head there for a little while, so glad you got that Zoom figured out. But certainly great to see everybody. Hope everyone's staying safe, staying healthy. It's critically important, at this time that that everybody's doing that. But we couldn't be more excited about Jeff and having the opportunity to bring him on our team. He's a young man that we've spent a lot of time with, got a great opportunity to know, at the combine, and then follow up, talk to his coaches, talk to just about everybody he's played against, and, really even going back to some of his stuff coming out of high school. I'll say it's not often that you meet someone and you spend a 15 to 18-minute interview at the combine when you're rolling through players, and that player says something that just sticks so hard to you as a person, that explains who he is as a person. And it's something that makes you go back and you talk to your wife about it, and you're like, wow, this is an amazing young guy. So we're just really excited that we had the opportunity to add him to our team. Obviously, as a player, everything he's done on the field is phenomenal. His skill set, his ability to go out there and match up in different roles, play at a high level, knowing that, teams are either game planning to do different things to him to try to create confusion, and his ability to just go through play after play and be competitive, be tough. Like I said, he's got a great skill set. He tackles, he plays hard. He works even harder off the field. It's something that is so rare and unique, his ability to go in and study and outwork everybody that he plays against. And, just his wanting to be great, his wanting to go compete, and his wanting to make the team better and go win. And I think that's everything that, that we want. So, like Bob said, I'll keep it a little bit short, but Jeff, we're so excited to have you here. I'm going to turn it over to you, and Eamon, you can kind of lead the charge here, but just a phenomenal, great young man. And we're so excited to have you on our team. Okay, Eamon.
All right, Jeff, floor is yours, and then we'll start with questions from Mike O'Hara.
Yeah, so first off, just want to thank Coach, thank Bob, Ford family. Talked to Mrs. Ford this morning. Cannot wait to meet her. She seems like a great person, and just ready to get to Detroit, get it rolling.
All right, our first question, Justin Rose.
Hey, Jeff, welcome to Detroit. I know you said last night you didn't know a lot about the area, but it's rich in tradition. The Lions organization obviously has a ton of tradition as well. How eager are you to get in and learn some of that and learn more about this organization?
I'm beyond eager just to get in there, learn about the city, learn more about the organization, and just soak it all in.
Okay, Larry Lage.
Interesting thing about you outside of football in terms of non-athletic interests or anything like that?
Heavy Netflix guy. So I like to binge watch a lot of TV shows in my free time.
Larry, say that again.
I said Ozark.
Ozark, no, yeah, for sure. I'm on season 3 right now. I'm about to finish it up this weekend, probably.
All right, Dave Burkett.
Congratulations, Jeff. Welcome to Detroit. So what was it that you said at the combine interview with the Lions that hit Matt touched Matt so deeply, do you think?
I just shared with him something about my upbringing, talked about my relationship with my mom growing up, my father, something real personal to me.
Is there anything you can, maybe you don't want to share the whole story, but is there anything that you could say about, I mean, you talked a little bit about your mother yesterday, but just anything more you can say on that?
It was just a real personal moment.
All right, Justin Rogers.
Jeff, you've talked a lot about your study habits. I just wondered if you could walk me through like a week for you in preparing for an opponent, and then also maybe how you study some of the NFL players that you've kind of stolen or borrowed some of their games and incorporated into yours.
So I'll get in on Monday. We'll watch the 11, 10, 12 personnel stuff, get back with the coaches the next day, meet with him, and apply it to practice. So really just studying the receivers throughout the week, being really detailed, looking at the route concepts, how offenses are trying to attack us that week, and just really being meticulous about it. And I think that it's really helped. My process has really helped my play.
Okay, Mike Rothstein.
Yeah, so kind of follow on that a little bit. Where did you get your study habits from? How did you learn those?
So when I first got to Ohio State, I kind of struggled to pick up learning offense and stuff like that. So after practice, I would just meet with one of the assistant GAs, and we just watch practice, and he would just kind of talk to me about it from a coach's standpoint. And then kind of through that way, I started watching the film in the same way. And eventually I was able to start watching it myself. And I just kind of fell in love with the process and how you start seeing patterns and they match at practice. And then it's like the game just gets slower and slower.
What assistant GA was that basically really influenced you in this aspect?
D'Angelo Bentley, currently the GA at Penn State.
Tim Twentyman.
Hey, Jeff, congratulations. First off, both Bob and Matt talked about your work ethic and your character and a lot of the stuff that you do off the field. Where do you think that was first instilled in you, and how have you kind of developed that as you built through your football career?
I think it comes just being tough and seeing my mom go through what she was going through at the time with chemotherapy. And while she's doing chemotherapy, she was still in a nursing school. And just seeing that, it just instilled a work ethic, just knowing that you get out what you put into things. So I'm always trying to put my best foot forward and strive to be great.
Jason Lewis.
Hey, Jeff. What part of your game do you take the most pride in, and what do you feel like is the biggest asset that you're bringing here to Detroit?
I take pride in my technique a lot. Something that I pride myself on a lot, put a lot of hours into studying guys, going out there, putting in work, sharpening my technique. And I think my willingness to learn, I'm going to come in, willing to learn, really open-minded, and try to soak up a lot of information from the older guys.
Rainer Saban.
Yeah. How much has the your growth kind of been attributed to the fact that you kind of grew up in the Dallas area, faced a lot of tough competition early on, and were kind of, grew up in that kind of football culture there? And how much do you think that had an influence on where you are today?
Yes, I mean, I was born in New Jersey, so I moved to Texas when I was in 6th grade, and I think that just seeing the change of competition and how serious sports taken in Texas was big, because when I got to Ohio State, I was already used to competing against the top guys, and even though it was tough, I think just having that background of high level of competition, I think it paid dividends.
Brad Galley.
Jeff, congratulations, man. I'm sure your phone was blowing up last night, but to get such public recognition from LeBron James, can you discuss the relationship between the two of you, and to see that come across your phone, what that meant to you last night?
So we're signed to the same agency, and so through that, we spoke before, and I think that just seeing what he said, it's kind of just a testimony of the hard work that's been put in, and it was a pretty cool shout out.
Michael Stetz.
Jeff, congratulations. Ohio State, known as cornerback U, I believe you're like the 8th cornerback taken in the first round since like 2014. Your teammate Damon Arnett was the 9th. He was taken in the first round as well. That a sense of pride for you, and just tell me, what do you attribute that to, that your college continues to churn out top cornerbacks such as yourself?
I think it's just having a standard. When you play cornerback at Ohio State, the standard is pretty much be a lockdown cornerback. So anything less than that is kind of seen as a disappointment in the eyes of the guys who played before. So I think when you hold yourself to that standard, then going first round or just getting drafted high, it kind of just comes along with it, even if you weren't striving for that.
Mike Stone.
Somebody once told me that Michigan, you really wanted to go to Michigan or had major interest, and they didn't reciprocate as much. A, is that true? And also, why have you guys at Ohio State been able to dominate them so much?
I don't know that it's necessarily true. It might be, it was so long ago, but Ohio State, I think that's the way that we approach things. We focus on the game starting in January, so we have 10 months to just prepare for one game. So I think when you look at it that way, it's a big reason and why we've been so successful in the past.
Steve Courtney.
Jeff, how you doing? Welcome to Detroit. Congratulations. Talk about your draft experience, albeit, Jeff, in this virtual age, from your last game at Ohio State through the combine. You must have quite a sense of relief now that it's done and you're a member of the Lions.
Definitely. I think the whole experience was really just interesting. I used the time to reach out to some players and kind of get tips, pointers from guys that have been doing it for a while. And the process to me has really been great. Have a chance to sit down with a lot of teams, talk about football, and talk with former teammates that I've had, ask them how their process is going. So I think it's brought me close to a lot of guys.
Jamie Edmonds.
Hi, my question is about draft night, and it certainly wasn't what you probably expected. I'm sure you wanted to have the suit and be in Las Vegas and do that whole thing. Talk to me about adapting to this world that we're living in and what the next step is. Are you going to work out virtually and all that stuff?
It was still cool to me. I think that just everything going on, having an in-person draft wasn't the most important thing. I think just the fact that I was surrounded by loved ones was it was really cool to me. The whole moment was surreal. I felt like I was on cloud 9 all day yesterday. So I'm feeling really good about being a Detroit Lion.
Kyle Meinke.
Jeff, welcome to Detroit. The NFL is notoriously difficult on rookie cornerbacks. The jump can be difficult on guys. You don't have an off-season program. There's a lot that's going to be expected of you right away. How are you, anticipating, taking on that challenge and getting ready to, contribute so early in a difficult position?
Just get to work. I have to control what I can control. So I'm gonna do everything that I can to be as ready as I can be whenever I get to Detroit.
Are you talking to other cornerbacks that have done this before about what they did to help make that transition?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Stacey Dales.
Hey Jeff, congratulations. I guess my question for you is, you are joining a team with a GM and a head coach who have Super Bowl credibility and pedigree, I guess I could say. What excites you about helping turn around this thing that they are trying to turn around and shift a defense that you will impact immediately? What excites you about that?
Just be part of something special. When I was at Ohio State, my sophomore year, we were the 75th overall total defense, and then we finished up my junior year as the #1 overall defense. So I love to be part of change, and I think that when you put all hands on deck, special things can happen.
So Dave Burkett, then Tim Twentyman. Dave, I think you're muted.
There we go. Sorry about that. You were talking about Damon Arnett a little bit earlier. Can you just explain a little bit more about your relationship, how close you guys are, why you got along so well, and just the way that you guys have pushed each other both to get to where you are right
And so we got along really well. I think just because we both had a lot of the same goals. He really wanted to bring the secondary back to elite level of play, as did I. He really wanted to be remembered at Ohio State, as did I. So we just put a lot of work together in the off season, a lot of extra hours, and just to kind of strive towards our goals.
Tim Twentyman.
Jeff, I'm sure you, Bob, Matt, Corey, some of the other coaches, have done kind of some of this virtual film work and talked through the defense. I'm just curious how you think your skill set maybe fits into what they like to do on defense and what your hopes are for 2020.
I think my skill set fits pretty good into the defense, just because having the background of playing in a lot of different coverages, a lot of different schemes. So I just hope that I can give the team my all and see where it takes us.
Okay, I think that's all we got. Jeff, the last question everybody has for you, is it Jeff or Jeffrey that you prefer?
Jeff, for sure, Jeff.
All right, thank you, everyone. Appreciate the time, and we'll circle back later tonight.
Jeff Okudah backs down from nobody. He's big enough to play the big guys, and he's fast enough and quick enough to play the small guys. There's very few holes in his game.
Watch me take control.
Off of play action, that pass is intercepted by Jeff Okudah.
Talking about one of the top corners, if not the top corner in the entire country.
That ball broken up by guess who? Jeff Okudah.
Watch me take control.
Okudah came across and picked it off. It's a first down play. Martinez for the pocket. Looped it over the head, and it's intercepted. Picked off the hands of Robinson, and Okudah's got his second pick tonight.
He's complete. He's physical. He'll run. He'll do everything you ask for him to do, and he tackles well too. Yeah.
Watch me take control.
Jeff Okudah, who they feel is a top 5 pick. Ooh, that guy can play football. In the pass is